She is a SoCal native, born and raised in Manhattan Beach, whose sunny and vibrant tones play a big role in the music she releases. Singer-songwriter Chloé Caroline is now out with a brand new song, and today we'll have a special performance of her latest single, Saving Space.
And she is joining us live from Redondo Beach. Chloé Caroline, hi.
Hi, how are you guys?
We are great. Finally, nice to meet you here. Let's talk about a little bit of your music history. You started writing music when you were really young. What drew you to that career?
Oh man, I literally grew up in a house with music. My dad was a singer-songwriter. He would show me everything from Fleetwood Mac to Frank Sinatra. I also grew up in, the time of Shania Twain and Avril Lavigne and all these like iconic female singer-songwriters that were influenced by so many different genres, and I felt really called to it. I'm kind of an old soul, so even when I was really, really little, I felt, I don't know, just a strong sense of emotion from songs that would go over most little girls' heads.
So you described your ultimate goal for your music as for nobody to ever feel alone. Why is this such an important mission for you to focus on?
Yeah, I've always been kind of a floater, like my whole life, just with friends. I've always kind of found myself in different types of people, I think, and I hate kind of being like confined to one box. So I think that's part of it, is I feel like I can understand a lot of different people, and I like to feel understood. But I also was very sick as a kid. When I was like around 11 years old, I had to be pulled out of school for about a year, and because of that, I was isolated. And so I really turned to music as my friend, and I learned what it felt like. And I went to a different school like after that and had some mean girls, and I've been there, and I never want anybody else to experience that.
Oh, that's nice. And keep that focus. And more importantly, is that your Bronco in that video?
I wish. It's my neighbor's. I'm not even kidding. I asked my neighbor, I was like, hey, your car is awesome. Can I please use it?
I know, one day. All right, so your summer single, it's called Gemini. It was released a few months ago, and it is the first single ahead of 2 EPs and a full-length album. Why'd you choose that song first?
Yeah. I wanted to kick off with something that was a little bit more energetic and fun, and I just feel like it kind of set the tone for this sort of cosmic vibe that my whole record has. I dated quite a few Geminis, and it was just kind of like a fun song to kind of share my perspective on, I guess, astrology. I found it really weird that I kept attracting the same types of people, and oftentimes they have the same zodiac sign, and I was like, nobody's written a song about that. Why don't I do that? And then it kind of turned into a song more about recognizing red flags and ultimately trying to find better relationships.
Good for you. Thanks for giving us some tips.
That's a quintessential LA tale right there.
Exactly, a little too on brand.
All right, so you're currently working on your upcoming EP. What can you tell us about the project?
Yeah, so like I said, it's definitely got some cosmic elements. I wrote it during a time when I felt like I was kind of having this spiritual awakening. I had ended a 5-year relationship, and it was the first time I'd been alone in 5 years. And so it was really like a journey of self-discovery, of kind of figuring out like what I wanted in my life, how to be the best version of myself, and everything that comes along with that journey of, figuring out what it is you want in love, what it is you want in your career, how to, just how do I fulfill myself alone first, and then, be able to, be the best for everybody else as well. So it was kind of that journey, and kind of writing those feelings and emotions as I was experiencing just everything you go through during that sort of awakening and coming home to yourself.
And probably the same thing with your single Saving Space. What is that one about?
Yeah, so that song's a really special song to me. I wrote it at a time when I really had to decide whether I was going to continue to try to control like who and how love arrived in my life, or I could sit back and trust that like what was meant for me would show up when it was supposed to. And it was a really difficult decision to make, because I had kind of attached this idea of what I wanted to a specific person, and I was kind of holding on to that for way too long. I was definitely like focused on myself in a lot of ways, but I think this like what if kind of was like the mentality that I have. Well, what if it worked out with this person? And I realized that I was trying to kind of like control my own destiny in regards to romance by attaching to somebody else. And eventually I came to a point where I was like, I can't do this, you know, like, but I also didn't want to settle for less than I knew that I wanted, I guess. I kind of had this idea of what I wanted, but so I didn't want to let go of that. which is
essentially saving space.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, I can still save space and I can still move forward in my life at the same time. I just have to be open to how it arrives, and it did.
All right, now to a special performance. Here is Saving Space by Chloé Caroline.
Like the sunset on an open road out west, like the line in a song that's just stuck in my head. You're the kind of thing that I can't forget. I've been holding on since the day we met. Timing wasn't in our favor, hoping you would come back later, but you haven't yet. And I'm okay with that. The world's still turning without you. The stars could align with some, but no, gravity's taking all control now. I can fall in love and it could work out, but it's not too late, 'cause here's the truth. I won't wait if it all leave room. I'm still saving space for you. Space for you. I'm better than ever all alone in bed. But I look to my left every now and then. I wonder what it'd be like with you instead. 'Cause we've never got the chance to see what happened next. The world's still turning without you. The stars could align with some, but no, gravity's taking all control now. I can fall in love and it can work out, but it's not too late, 'cause here's the truth. I won't wait if it all leave room. I'm still saving space for you.
Beautiful, Chloe.
Thank you.
Love it. So what are you doing for the rest of the year?
Oh man, I have so much music coming out. At the top of the year, I'm releasing another single and then the first EP. And then I have another EP coming out and a full-length album. I wrote a ton over COVID, so I'm in release mode. I'm ready to like let the world hear everything that's been bottled up inside me for a while.
Well, perfect. We can't wait to hear it all. For
Awesome.
sure.
Thank you,
Great
guys.
energy.
Appreciate you.
All right, thanks for joining us. And you can stream Saving Space by Chloé Caroline on all music platforms. To stay updated on her journey, you can head to chloecaroline.com. You can also follow her on social media.
She had sweet energy. Yeah.
I always hear new artists on this show, on this segment. So
Yep.
thanks, Tammy. Get some new music.